Students may want to sketch out the background and their sprites in their game as they are completing the planning pages. This could help them decide how points are earned or lost and how the game ends. The theme should be a short description of the game and how it is played, similar to a description given on a website of a video game. The game rules will be the conditions and variables in the game. These should be specific and written using if-then statements. The endgame condition can be a few examples. When a game reaches a certain number of points, when a set amount of time runs out, when a certain number of actions have been completed, pop 5 balloons, or when a certain condition is true, complete the final level of the game. The first page of the planning guide must be fully completed before working on the second page. The variables and loops with conditions sections are dependent upon the rules of the games and the scoring winning conditions being well thought out. If students choose to have their variable start at a value greater than 0 and have it decrease as the game is played, such as a timer or counting the number of remaining tasks to complete, then they do not need to define the number of points needed to end or win the game. Students have the choice to create 2 or more variables if they like. A timer or countdown, a task or level counter, and/or a point scored variable. They can choose to have one or both of these variables determine the end of game condition. If they choose to use both variables, then they will need to create 2 different conditions to end the game. The first being if score equals X, then end game, and the second, if timer equals 0, then end game. In the loops with conditions section of the planning guide, if students choose column 1 on the rubric, they only need to define the earn points conditions for main sprite 1. Identifying the condition for losing points is optional. For columns 2 or 3 on the rubric, students are required to complete the earn and lose point sections for one or both of the main sprites. In the loop/animation section of the planning guide, students can use the repeat loop block with 1 or more action blocks. This will be a separate script from the loops with condition scripts. In the recycle game, the repeat loop made Dottie the dove flap its wings. Remind students that they will use wait blocks to synchronize the conversation, the game instructions, between the 2 main sprites. If necessary, show the code for the Dino and Wizard Frog project that demonstrates synchronization. Click See Inside and show how the scripts for the 2 sprites are synchronized. In the events section of the planning guide, if students have their sprites moving in their game, they can recreate the arrow scripts that they were given for the maze project in Unit 2.